Tonight, we're learning what President Trump discussed with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the phone. The president announced the planned phone call earlier today. And tonight, Russian state media is reporting the two leaders discussed Ukraine and Iran, among other topics, for about an hour. A Kremlin aide said Putin told the president he would not back down from Russia's war goals in Ukraine.
President Trump's Middle East envoy is confirming Israel agreed to the president's ceasefire proposal.
And now the White House is getting ready for Israel's prime minister to visit next week. Matt Bradley reports tonight from Tel Aviv.
And the big news here is that Adon Alexander, that 21-year-old Israeli-American former hostage, is in Washington. He had returned several weeks ago to his hometown of Tenafly, New Jersey. And it sounds as though he is meeting with the president and the first lady at the White House today. Now, all of this comes ahead of a big trip by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also to Washington, his third to meet the president ever since President Trump took office back in January. Now, this time it's going to be very different than his previous trips. It's going to be very much a victory lap. Both men have been high-fiving, congratulating each other for what the Israelis and the Americans consider to be a resounding victory in their fight against Iran. Now, even though there is a lot of discussion about just how devastating those attacks against those Iranian nuclear sites were, the Prime Minister of Israel and President Trump are both saying that they were victorious and that now is the time to push ahead for some sort of ceasefire in the Gaza Strip that would free those remaining, thought to be a couple dozen hostages. Now, we have been hearing that there is an agreement on the table. The Israelis have accepted it, and we're waiting for Hamas to approve. Hamas has already indicated that they would be interested and amenable to a deal that would release, it sounds like, according to media reports here in Israel, about 28 of those hostages in return for what sounds like a 60-day ceasefire. Now, whether or not this comes to fruition, we've been here before. We've seen the negotiations reach to this level. But so far, it looks as though the Israelis and Hamas are both sticking to their intractable positions. The Israelis say they don't want to see this end until Hamas is completely destroyed. Hamas has said that they're willing to release all of the remaining hostages, but only if the Israelis end the fighting in the Gaza Strip and withdraw completely. Both of these positions are entirely at odds, so it's unclear whether or not, despite what we've seen throughout the Middle East, whether we're going to get to a deal this time. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.